Why Mao Zedong couldn't conquer Taiwan? In 1949, Mao Zedong proclaimed the creation of the People's Republic of China. At the same time, the Chinese Civil War was still raging. The Kuomintang opposition had retreated to the island of Taiwan, and by 1951, the Chinese Communist Party controlled all of mainland China and the island of Hainan. But one important question remains: why didn't Mao take over Taiwan? Mao's first challenge was consolidating the Communist Party's control over mainland China. While the People's Liberation Army, or PLA, was 3 times the size of the Kuomintang's military, it lacked key resources. The PLA had only a tiny air force, whereas the Kuomintang possessed a modern air fleet with American-made fighters and bombers. Additionally, the PLA had no navy, as most of China's ships were taken to Taiwan by the retreating Kuomintang forces. Mao positioned troops along the coastline and began preparing for an invasion. The closest target was the Quemoy, or Jinmen Islands. However, when the attack was launched, it ended in disaster. Undeterred, Mao ordered plans for the final conquest of Taiwan. His idea was simple: purchase as many transport vessels as possible and overwhelm the island with sheer numbers. But this plan was quickly abandoned. It was impractical and risky. Mao feared American intervention, and well, he was right. The United States positioned its naval fleet between China and Taiwan, warning Mao that any invasion would lead to war. Meanwhile, another conflict emerged: the Korean War. This brought direct clashes between Chinese and American forces. U.S. President Harry Truman also vowed to protect non-communist governments, including Chiang Kai-shek's regime in Taiwan. After the Korean War ended in 1953, Mao turned his attention back to Taiwan. In 1954, he ordered the shelling of the Quemoy Islands. Taiwan retaliated, and tensions escalated quickly. In response, President Truman took 3 critical steps. First, he sent reinforcements to Taiwan. Second, Congress passed legislation to defend Taiwan in case of an invasion. Third, Truman threatened China with nuclear retaliation. This nuclear threat forced Mao to back down. This confrontation convinced Mao that China needed nuclear weapons to stand up to the United States. While China worked on developing its nuclear arsenal, Mao resumed shelling the islands simply because he could. This time, air forces got involved, leading to hundreds of casualties. President Eisenhower then warned China that further attacks would result in an invasion of the mainland. Once again, tensions calmed. This was the last time Mao attempted to use force against Taiwan. When Mao died in 1976, his successors adopted a policy of peaceful reunification. Ultimately, Mao couldn't conquer Taiwan for one simple reason: he lacked the means. The U.S. Navy, the most powerful in the world, stood firmly between China and Taiwan. Any invasion would have been devastatingly costly in terms of lives and resources, both of which Mao needed to build his revolutionary government far more than he needed Taiwan. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more historical insights.